So today we're going to have a look at some advanced rota management stuff. We're going to look at putting people on patterns, taking people off patterns, and we're going to look at what happens when someone's main role, main role changes. They're the main things we're going to have a look at. So let's go through the bit we have to go through at the beginning. So advanced rota management tips is today. So CoolCare is here to make operating your care home easier, more efficient, and more profitable. So while the session is going on, you will be able to ask questions by using the Q&A at the bottom of your Zoom screen. You can see a little image of it here. There's our Q&A. And we have Sam, my colleague, on hand to answer any questions you may have. There will be time at the end to type questions into Q&A as well. And myself and Sam at that point then will hopefully be able to answer those questions as well. So I've kind of given it away already. What we're looking at today, we're looking at unassigning, if I could spell right, unassigning and assigning staff to shift patterns, covering shifts when shift patterns are not assigned. So what do you do in between when you unassign someone and you're able to assign someone to the pattern? What do you do in between? Changing staff members' main position. So I'm a care assistant, but you want my main position to change to be a senior carer. Reassigning staff after their main position has changed. So what happens when you change someone's main position? How does that affect the rota? And how do you kind of solve the problem afterwards? So that's what we're going to have a look at. Okay, let me jump into CoolCare. Let's see, can we do this bit right? There we are. And I'm going to do share, and you should hopefully see. Let me try that again. Didn't do it. There we go. You should hopefully be able to see my CoolCare screen. If you can't, I'm sure Sam will shout at me. Okay, so let me go to my rota to start off with. My CoolCare connection has been running a bit slow, but hopefully, fingers crossed, we'll be okay. Right, here is my rota. Nice little easy rota. There's my care days and my care nights. So the first thing I'm going to do is a really simple one. I'm just going to simply take someone off a pattern. So I'm going to say, Renee Phelan here, she says to me, after the 26th of October, I will no longer be working that pattern. So you can see there she is. There's Renee. Here she is on the top one there. And she's working that pattern all the way into the future. But she says to me, as of the 28th, that'll be the 26th. That's the last day I'm going to work that pattern. So I want to take her off the pattern. If I click here on her name, because she's on the pattern, I will have an end date. I only have an end date if someone's assigned to a pattern. Okay, the last day she's going to work is the 26th. And if I do assign, there we go. She will now be taken off that pattern. So we click here, and there she is. She's off the pattern. So if someone has been assigned to a pattern, you will have an end date. Try again. You will have an end date. You put in the last date, the day the person's working, do assign, it takes them off that pattern. Okay, so I have her off the pattern. That's the first thing. But my problem now is who's going to work this pattern going into the future? So I've got 4 shifts here that I need to cover. So what I'm going to say in this case is that I've got 4 individual people who all come up and say, listen, we can do one of the shifts just to get you out of problems. Now, you probably know the answers to this already. I click on the shift. And when the list of names comes up, I can pick someone who's going to work that shift for me. Let's see, Sandy. What else will we have? Elaine. Sophia. As I said, my internet connection has been running a bit slow. Here you go. Let's put the name in. Let's click again. Oh, we put the last one in. Now this stuff, this here you probably know already. But let's say I want to fill the next 4. And again, I've got no one to take it over permanently, but I've got one person who says, I can do all 4 shifts for you. In fact, I can do all 8 shifts for you. I can do from the 6th up until the 16th. So I can do all those shifts for you. I can put that person's name in 8 times, one at a time, or I can play this little trick here. And this works for anyone you want to put them on consecutive shifts. So I say Monday the 6th, it was the 16th. So I click here. I go for covered. Covered is the trick. That will give me a start date and an end date. And I can say from the 16th, sorry, from the 6th to the 16th. Go. And let's say we'll put Bella on it. There we go. Yep, there we are, Bella. Okay, I'm going to do save. Everything going well. There's Renee. There's the 4 individual people we put on manually. And then here, there's Bella on those 4. And he's put them on those 4. So from the 6th to the 16th. So just to show you that one more time. Anytime you want to put someone on consecutive shifts and you're doing it manually, rather than put their name in on each shift individually, you can do this. We'll do this one here from the 25th to the 28th. You click here at the beginning. You go for covered. That gives you the start date and end date. I say from the 25th to the 28th. Remember, the dates is the biggest problem I have. To the 28th. Who are we going to put on there? We'll put Fiona. There she is. If I save that, hopefully in the fullness of time. There we go. So there's Fiona Baxter is on those 4. So remember, click at the beginning. Covered is what gives you your start and end date. Okay, so that's how you can put someone, take someone off a pattern, and then you can fill in the gaps in between. So we filled in the gaps in between here for Renee, all the way up until here, the 16th of November. But there are some more shifts starting from the 20th of November. Now we have somebody who says, listen, I can take that shift pattern over permanently. So I'm going to put someone on that permanently into the future until they eventually decide they're going to come off it at some point in the future. How do I do that? Because there's no one assigned permanently to that pattern. If I click here, let me just check, it's the 20th of November, click here. I can say I've got a start date. I can say November 20th, and then I can pick who I want to put onto that. So I'm going to say Catherine Matthews. There you go. And I'm going to assign that person. There's Catherine Matthews. You'll need, excuse me, you know, Renee's name is still here. That's because we haven't jumped into the time when our friend Catherine Matthews has taken over. You see that our rota starts on 24th to the 10th. Okay, so if we go back here, 24th to the 10th, that's still a time when Renee is actually assigned to that pattern. But if we jump into the future, let's say the 26th to the 10th, sorry, 26th to the 11th. There we go. You can see Catherine Matthews' name is at the beginning because she now has taken over that pattern. So that's how I can unassign someone, fill in the space in between, either individually or using the covered option, and how I can assign someone to it, to the new pattern. Right. So what do I do about, oh, excuse me, what do I do about someone where their role changes? So let me give you an example. Okay, so we have our friend Paul here. He's a senior carer. What Paul's going to do is Paul's going to come along and say to me, after the 28th of November, I'm no longer working that pattern. So we'll do what we did before. We're going to take him off the pattern, nice and easy. So we go to Paul. We say, as of the 28th, just check I got the date right. As of the 28th, assign, go. And he now is no longer on that pattern. I did something wrong with Paul, but he's off the pattern anyway. Bear with me, I've obviously put in the wrong date, but put in the 26th. So as the 26th, he's no longer working that pattern, so he's off the pattern. Now, I have someone who I want to put onto that pattern. In fact, what I'll do, let me fill these first three here. Let's do that let's get someone to fill the first three. So remember 28, 26 to 28th. Remember, I can click here, I can do covered, 26th to the 28th. There we go. And we'll put Amelia in there. Go save that. So in a second, hopefully. There we go. Hopefully if we close that, let's try that again. Oh, sorry, November. That's what's wrong there. Let's jump back to October. There you go. There's Paul working up to the 25th. If I could jump across, there he is. He's come off. I was looking at the wrong one. Sorry about that. So there he is. He's off the pattern. So now we want someone to fill in that pattern for him. And I actually decide I want our friend here. Let's see what we have. We have this person here. We have Hannah White. I want Hannah White to fill in for or take over Paul's pattern. But my trouble with Hannah is that her main role, her only role really, is as a care assistant. So if I was to click on here and say I want someone to fill that in, the one person I would not find down here is Hannah White because that's not a role she's allowed to cover. So what we're going to do is we're going to take Hannah and we're going to say, let's say from the 28th, 8th of October, I'm going to change her role so that she now becomes a senior carer. So remember, we're working with our friend Hannah White here. There you go. So I'm going to go to her record. Again, apologies for the slow connection. And we're looking for Hannah. My head, I'm in the wrong place. There's Hannah. And I'm going to go to HR and I'm going to go to positions and history. And here under positions and history, I can see her main position is a care assistant, and these are the other positions she can cover, but you can't do a care assistant, a senior carer. I'm now going to make her a senior carer. So we're going to do that now. So if I click here, I'm going to say insert. And of course, I've forgotten my date, but we'll go for it anyway. I'm going to say we'll make her a senior carer as of, I'll say the 26th. I'm hoping I've got that right now. As of the 26th, I'm going to make her a senior carer. She's not bank staff. I'm going to say hours per week. I'm going to say 40. Average days, I'm going to say 5. And holiday, I'm going to say 28. Yeah. Okay, so if I save that, this is going to mean from the date of the 26th, her main job will no longer be a care assistant, it'll be a senior carer. Now what it's basically saying to me is, look, you're making her a senior carer, so I'm going to make that available as a payment option for her, for when she's getting paid for doing it. But I'm also, any shift she has on the rota as a care assistant, I'm going to take them off because she's no longer a care assistant. She's a senior carer. Bear with me on this one. If I say yes to that, that's it. She can no longer work as a care assistant. She can only work as a senior carer. But hold on, hold on. I want her to be able to work as a care assistant as well. Yes, her main role is senior care, but I want her to be able to work as a care assistant. So if I click here, I'll say from the 27th, I want her to be able to work as a care assistant. I have to show where that's not come up on mine. It should have done, but on yours, this happened to me yesterday. On yours, if you pick a date after she becomes a senior care, you will find care assistant on yours. I'm just going to pick that one there for the minute. Okay, let's jump back to our rota. So if I go to my rota, I'll have a look here at our friend Paul. His shifts start from the 28th, from the 29th, and I made her a senior carer from the 28th, I think, or 26th. 26th I did, didn't I? So I click here, and we look down here. We should find Hannah White will appear here. There she is, Hannah White. Now, Hannah White's appeared because I've now said her main position is a senior carer. In fact, it's a senior carer role. And if you look, that's ticked to tell her main position is a senior carer. So if I click on that, and if we come across, oh, sorry, clicked, no, I should have clicked here, shouldn't I? So I click here to put her on it permanently. There we go. And I'm going to make her permanent from the 30th. There you go. I do assign staff. Hopefully it'll give me a list of staff. There we go. And there's Hannah. There she is there. So whether it's on a single shift or you're putting her on the pattern, she now appears because she's now a senior carer. So I'm going to do that one more time. We just about enough time to do that. So we're going to take our friend Lorna and I'm going to make her a senior carer. And what we'll do is we'll say that Neve here says as of the 28th of October, she's no longer going to work that pattern. So what I'll do is I'll click here. The last day she's going to work is the 28th. Let's see, can I get my dates right this time? Yeah, 28th. Yep. That's 28th. And I'm going to assign that. And there she is. She has disappeared off that list. And if I said I wanted to make Lorna to take over that position, there's on the 1st of November. I should be able to remember that date. If I click here and I go and say the 1st of November, and I look for Lorna, I should not be able to find her. It's because she's not there because at the moment she can't cover a senior carer role. Let's go to Lorna Reynolds' record. It's working a bit quicker now, so that's good. There's Lorna. Let's go to HR. Let's go to positions in history. Okay, her main position is a care assistant. She has no extra position as a senior carer. So I'm going to change her main position. I'm going to say, as of, I'm going to make it just before the 1st. I'm going to say she's going to become a senior carer. And that's going to happen, oh, let's say the 30th. There you go. And I'm going to put in what her hours per week are. Days, I'm going to say 5. And again, I'm making this up. I'm going to say 28 for holidays. I save that. It says yes. Any shifts she has as a care assistant after the 28th, sorry, the 30th, it's going to take her off those shifts. But if I want her to be able to, and hopefully this will work for me this time, if I want her to still be able to work as a care assistant every now and again, I can add this role here. And I'm going to say as of the 1st of November, there we go. It's definitely after that date. Go. Don't again, know why it's not on mine. On yours, I promise you it will. Care assistant will appear. You'll be able to pick it and save it. Okay. Let's go back to our rota. Let's go to the shift, that pattern that Neve was working. There she is. And now, if I bring this down here, I want Lorna to take that over. Because I said Lorna became a senior care as of the 30th, I should be able to click here. When it comes up, if we come down here, we should have, in fact, what am I doing? Sorry, I'm doing it again, haven't I? If I click here at the beginning, and I say from the 1st, and I come down, there's Lorna. I do assign. We look across now, Lorna has been assigned. So as I said, if you have someone and you want to change their main position from whatever it is, you have to go to that person's record. I'll pick one here at random. Oh, Declan, there you go. Senior carer. Let's have a look. His main position, positions in history. There you go. His main position is a senior carer. If I want to change him to something else, I do insert and I put in whatever the position is I want him to become, to be his main position, and I put in a date that's going to be effective. If he's any shifts from his old main position, it'll take him off the rota for those shifts. But although it hasn't worked for me for these, it did work yesterday every time I did it, but of course it didn't work today. Once you have taken him off his main shift, you should be able to go back to his record and then go to here and go do add extra position. You can add his main position as an extra position as long as you do it after the date that you've changed his main position. There you go. Okay, let me jump back quickly to my PowerPoint presentation screen. There's a couple of bits I've got to say on that now. So next month's one will be based around the rota. And our main thoughts are we're going to do stuff probably around how to message staff, that kind of stuff. Haven't exactly decided what we're doing, but yes, messaging staff is definitely going to be involved in that. So CoolCare is here to help you with continuous professional development, whether you are in charge of financing and payroll, rota management, or tracking residents. You can work with our product specialist online or in person. And did you know you may be entitled to free training? Every customer has at least two 30 minutes free of charge training sessions. Contact training below to check your entitlement. You can email us at training@coolcare4.co.uk or call us on 0113 385 3853. I always have to laugh, number threes in that. So yes, we'll still be here. My my face will disappear, but we will still be here, and we'll be here until half 12. You can ask us questions on the Q&A. Thank you for listening, and hopefully you learned something and enjoyed that. Thank you very much.